coming to you live here in Daegu of Southern South Korea. We are here with the OlimoLeague May Grand Monthly Finals. Last one in quite a while, I would say, depending on how that goes forward. I am, of course, the host, Yaku of Ducklings, and with me today is El Tipo que los Lezares son los mejores razuadores, Light _ VIP. How we doing, Light? Myself, I'm feeling nostalgic, I gotta tell you.
What's up, Yaku? Yes, it's great to be here. It is going to be our very first OlimoLeague broadcast ever, and potentially last. Yeah, it's a little bit of a weird moment, but OlimoLeague, is going to be switching things up regardless of how things go. I do hope that this isn't the last and final iteration of OlimoLeague. It would be a shame. It's been running for so long, and it's great to finally be a part of it.
It absolutely is. Yeah, a part of it, production-wise, I would say. It's been very, very fun being a part of it as, a player signing up. I mean, even as an amateur player, as a Silver League player, it's the first time I ever signed up for an OlimoLeague way back in the day. I mean, OlimoLeague was basically what inspired us to create Duckling Open and Masters One Open, although admittedly in more of an amateur kind of format.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all of us, we all used to be back there, like me, you, Kuro, Catatonic, even, like a bunch of the Ducklings who would sign up pretty regularly to OlimoLeague back in the day, years ago now. It's been great that it's been going on for so long.
That long?
It's been years, mate. It's been years. 2016? Like, oh my god.
Oh boy. And now, yeah, I'm just glad to be a part of it before it makes its major shifts when it comes to format and stuff.
Exactly. And on top of that, another thing that kind of adds layers to how nostalgic this is one of our players here in this first matchup.
Absolutely. Here, kicking things off on Romanticide Ellie. We have a bit of a TVZ on our hands. The bottom right-hand corner map spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. We have the red Zerg player coming down from the land of Russia. He is going to be representing 3D clan. He is B.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner, but also the middle of the map, we have our South Korean Terran player, the commander himself, just finishing up his military service, returning to StarCraft less than 2 months ago. He's back here in the May finals. It is KeeN.
That's crazy to think about. Less than 2 months ago was when he came out of retirement, and he's already in the May finals of OlimoLeague.
Exactly. On top of that, okay, we got to bring this up because it just happened. This just in, because the GSL qualifiers are currently still ongoing. KeeN qualified for GSL Code A, beating Zest in a qualifying match.
That he did. Thankfully, Zest was able to pick himself up after that, but there is a potential for a rematch. He's going to make that a lot tougher for KeeN, though, now that he scouts his proxy.
Yeah, exactly. B does scout the proxy immediately, but we already have Marines on the way. Immediately, drones are being pulled to try and deny that bunker.
And the bunker can't even get made right now, like, that is how proactive B is being.
Oh god, that he is, but now the Marines are coming out. Thankfully for KeeN, he has kept both of his SCVs alive. The bunkers are now starting, and we'll see if this is enough drones here to really stop this. The spine does go down.
It does. Now both of the SCVs are starting to produce. B, he needs to make a decision quick. He's waiting for the rest of his drones, but I fear it's too late. One of these bunkers should come up at the very least, but he may be able to chase away these Marines.
Yeah, exactly. Only one SCV is building right now, and it looks like it may finish, but that wouldn't even matter if the Marines can't get to the bunker.
That it will not, but it managed to find a bit of the gap here, and the drones immediately sandwiched by the Zerglings.
Oh god, exactly. Even though the bunker's down, these Marines, they can't get anywhere close to it. The Lings are getting on top of the Marines, are going down, and so far, yeah, B, he's been able to hold.
Wow, I got really worried for a sec there, Light. I saw KeeN was rallying a couple more Marines into that bunker. If B tunnel vision a little bit too much and only chase those couple of Marines, that would have been done. That would have been done game. But in the end, he didn't neglect the other opening of attack. Was able to keep KeeN at bay.
Exactly. Something that's very interesting is that KeeN actually made a set of Reapers, which I love, to be honest, because, I mean, now with these Reapers, he can bounce between the bases, he can scout, and he can also keep B at bay, at least until Link Speed finishes. Oh my god.
Absolutely. And even get a little bit of harassment done over here.
Yeah.
Maybe even able to get the spine. But KeeN has a good sense not to overstay his welcome.
Exactly. But, you know, getting 2 drones like this early on is pretty huge. Oh my god, he could get a 3rd.
Not if the Lynx have anything to say about that. Speaking of Lynx, it's a good thing that KeeN did make this many Marines, but they were a little far forward.
Exactly. The Marines, though, they cleaned everything up, and yeah, he did get 3 drones in the end. So honestly, that's a pretty good amount of damage. Is it worth 2 Reapers? It's hard to say. It's definitely worth at least 1 Reaper, but now KeeN doesn't have any map control. He's stuck at home, and now it's going to be on B to make it as difficult as possible for KeeN to expand.
Absolutely. He already has these Zerglings, but I would like to see maybe a Baneling Nest come down, or some way to even keep that pressure on. To keep the pressure on KeeN here. KeeN is not behind by any means. In fact, he's actually ahead in the workers, and he's just waiting for when he can land his orbital command. B needs to use everything in his disposal to not let that happen.
Yeah, exactly. We already see a bunker starting, even a depot as well for that extra Sim City, and B doesn't have eyes on this. Like, he doesn't know that this is happening, so by the time the Lynx come in, like, it's gonna be a little bit difficult to deal with the Marines.
Guess what? It lands.
Yeah.
And now a couple of Hellions are out. KeeN is going to have no trouble keeping this orbital alive.
Yeah, exactly. The Marines come down. The bunker is complete. And with the bunker and these Hellions, KeeN is able to defend. He did lose a couple of SCVs, though. A little bit of miss micro there. So B is still in this. You know, he does take the worker lead.
Yeah, very, very slightly. He is looking to out macro KeeN here, or hoping to out macro KeeN. That's kind of his strategy right now. But KeeN is just continuing to build up. I mean, he, as a Terran player, does not need to land at 3rd base for a while. He's just looking to deal even more damage across the map. Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried for B right now because he's in the dark. If you look at his vision, he didn't manage to get into the main base. He doesn't know what the follow-up really is. And as we can see, he's kind of like getting ready for, or he was getting ready for Banshees. Like, he had a spore in each of his mineral lines. Thankfully, you know, he is able to utilize the spore, I guess, a little bit against the Liberator. But I mean, I don't know if he's aware of the mass marine that's going to be coming out. I guess he should, because, you know, it was a 2-Rax opening.
Yeah, I think it's definitely not as common to see a mech transition from a proxy 2-Rax like that, unless both of the Raxes go down somehow, or one of the Raxes goes down. But yeah, he should have an inkling of what's to come, but so far has not really been preparing for it.
Yeah, exactly. He does have his Queens here in position to try and intercept the drop. The drop is going in. There are 4 Hellions in it, and oh, B's on top of it, mate.
Indeed, he is scout stat with the Overlord. And keeps a couple of units in position. Meanwhile, though, that Liberator is getting quite a bit of value.
Yeah.
It takes a long time for a Spore to re-burrow.
Exactly. Unfortunately, the Queens were too busy dealing with the drop, and the drop does come back in. The Queens are a little bit out of position. He's going to try and get into the mineral line.
And the drones were lining up a little bit, but thankfully the Zerglings are able to keep those Hellions at bay. Not the Liberator, though.
Oh boy, exactly. The Liberator does dip back in. At the same time, it looks like this drop will be dealt with. Oh my god, the medevac just barely escaping.
Wow. Just barely escaping. Every Hellion is alive and healthy. A lot of the Lings that get shaved off as well. Man, B just needs to make another Spore Crawler. I'm sorry. Or something.
He just lost the Queen here in the natural as well. Like, this Liberator is so annoying. Yeah. It's so annoying. Oh my god. I mean, now the Queens are here, so it's going to be a little bit harder for this Lib to get damage done. But now KeeN, he's ready. Stim is done. +1 is still on the way. You know, it's not quite done yet. But with Stim, mate, this can deal a lot of damage.
You say this can do a lot of damage. I'm looking at this to end the game light. There are no Banelings, not even a Baneling Nest. The Roach Warren is still on the way, and honestly, even when the Roach Warren finishes up, isolated roaches are exactly what you want to see when you're going Marines like this.
Yeah, with no banelings, with only a handful of lings and queens, like, B did so well early on, like, defending the proxy and getting back into it, but he droned up far too much and there was no baneling nest. Like, what is he gonna do here?
Never underestimate a Terran player, especially a Terran player like KeeN, who will keep this pressure on from the start of the game right till the end of it.
Yeah, exactly, mate. Man with gun, it's pretty good. The third base goes down. What is there to defend? We have a couple of roaches coming out, which are great, I guess, but yo, like, roaches in low numbers, like, they don't do anything against Marines.
And they absolutely do not. Just one click. That's all KeeN needs to start target firing and one-shotting these roaches.
Oh god, exactly. Meanwhile, we have another drop here, reinforcing the army of KeeN. B, he's trying to get whatever roaches he can out, but mate, it is not going to be enough.
GG is called, and KeeN takes game number 1. He's back in his element a little bit, like longtime staple of OlimoLeague. He wants to make it to the finals and hopefully win this entire tournament.
Yeah, and that's what I was worried about, and that's why, like, I was concerned when B didn't go into scout the main base, because again, he didn't know how committed his opponent was to just straight up like a strong bio push. If he knew that, I'm sure he would have thrown down a baneling nest, but he was busy, or I say busy, he was kind of struggling to deal with like the pressure of the Hellion drop and the Liberator.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I imagine the rationale behind B was something along the lines of, I'm taking a lot of drone losses here. I do not have enough anti-air or just don't have enough defenses to really split things up. I'm going to lose drones. I may as well try to remake them, right?
Yeah.
If only he knew.
If only, mate, if only. On top of that, you know, something else that he was lacking a little bit there, and again, it's because the queens were so busy defending, were that, you know, they weren't spreading creep, right? Like, he barely had any vision outside of his bases. He didn't have a heads up that the army was coming, just kind of in the dark.
Yeah, I feel like he kind of used all of his vision on scouting that proxy early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had to wash out his contact lenses.
And now KeeN is up 1-0, but this isn't over for our Russian player here. You know, this is a best of 3. He can bring it back.
Indeed, it is. And like a typical OlimoLeague monthly finals, of course, a pretty interesting format that, well, I say interesting format, it's just interesting to see a kind of typical format condense so much in something like this. We're starting off with a best of 3. Later on, we'll get a best of 5, and for the grand finals, it's best of 7.
Oh, man,
but enough about that. It escalates so quick. But speaking of escalating, here we are on 2,000 atmospheres. LE, we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have the yellow Terran player. All eyes are on him right now, guys. And he is in too deep, trying to keep up above in this bracket. He is going to be representing Dopan, I'm pretty sure.
A freak of freaks.
He's a freak of freaks. He is KeeN.
And spawning in the top right, but also currently getting proxy racks again. 2 games in a row. We have the only foreigner in this entire bracket. We have the Russian Zerg representing Team 3D Clan. It is B.
This is why I love KeeN.
I have to wonder if this is how he beat Zest in the GSL qualifiers. I have to wonder, because here we go. We have another proxy 2 racks. Unfortunately, this time B will not scout the buildings.
Yeah, pretty non-typical placement for that proxy, at least when it comes to barracks.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you think you have a little bit more time as a Zerg player to maybe check that point, because usually it's, what, a factory or a starport that gets proxied in that location.
Yeah, like, I mean, thankfully, B is keeping his Overlord outside his natural, so he will see when the SCVs come to build bunkers, so he will have some heads up, but his reactions have to be on point as the SCVs come in.
But he's keeping them hidden for now. He does not want B to prepare proactively with this, but it's too late. SCVs were already revealed. He knows exactly what's coming his way.
Yeah, exactly. 2 spines are on the way. He does fool the boys, and again, his goal here is to try and cancel, deny these bunkers, or at least make sure these Marines don't get anywhere close to them. Uh-oh.
And they aren't that close for now, but the bunker will finish up. Thankfully, it is a bunker that's quite a ways away from the natural base of KeeN over here. Won't be in range of those spine crawlers or anything, but it's a very good backup point for KeeN to utilize.
Yeah, it's one of those things where right now B is surviving, but he just lost a lot of drones. 5 drones went down. KeeN has a massive worker lead, and he doesn't have to commit from here. If he wants to, like, he's already attempting to transition.
He is. Gives up on that bunker. He's gonna keep a couple of these Marines in position just to see what he can get done, but yeah, for the most part, KeeN's already working on getting his factory. He's already getting his natural base up.
Yeah, you know, Reapers are on the way once again to dive into the main base. I imagine to snipe a couple of drones as well if B isn't ready. So yeah, like the damage was done, right? It was what, 5 drones and 2 spines were forced to be morphed, which are kind of useless right now. Like, ugh.
And that's not insignificant damage either. KeeN is currently 3 workers ahead, but let's not forget, he does have mules available.
That he does. Meanwhile, the Marines come home and they clean up every single one of these things. At the same time, the Reapers do get into the main base. Oh.
And they're already getting damaged. Those spine crawlers, they were very formidable in the natural base, but that was nothing defending the main base.
Yeah, exactly. 2 drones already going down. Maybe a third. Oh my. Okay, no, never mind.
Well, I thought for sure that drone got morphed into a spine crawler.
He did. He just targeted down another one. Aye. 3 drones go down, and this time KeeN keeps his Reapers alive.
Yeah, this time he does have quite a lot of map control on his side, especially because B was forced to invest a lot in his side of defense. He is not going to be able to get some lings out for quite some time. He needs to drone up a little bit before getting to the next phase. KeeN is just absolutely running away with this game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, again, this is looking even better for KeeN than game number 1. And game number 1 was already pretty good for KeeN. Like,
yeah.
Oh god. And I hope that these spines eventually get repositioned because, yo, KeeN is getting ready for the next push. Armory is being thrown down.
Yeah, that medevac is on the way, Light. He's starting to reactor out some Hellions.
Oh boy. I mean, okay, so B, he does have a Roach one on the way, and Roaches will definitely help defend here, but it all depends on whether he gets them out in time. Right now, he's kind of concerned about even keeping his third alive.
That he is, and even then with Roaches, especially without Galaru Constitution, there's still a lot of crowd control potential here for KeeN. There's a lot of kiting he can do, maybe even juggling with that medevac, and let's not forget, KDA charge. Absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, exactly, and these queens, they don't have enough energy for transfuse, so they could start getting, or going down even, before the Hellbats come in.
They really could, and you do not want that to happen whatsoever. I mean, queens are already in a little bit of a vulnerable position once the Hellbats come out.
Mate, here we go. It's here. These queens are dead, mate. There's no transfuse. One of them already going down. A second goes down as well. What do we have to defend? We have 1 Roach, mate.
1 Roach and a couple of Slowlings. Let's go! Spine crawlers are slowly making their way to the front line, but I don't think that's going to be enough. KeeN really uses the KDA charge as well, just making sure that these queens and these Roaches are as isolated and easy to target fire as possible.
Yeah, aye. Thankfully, one of the spines gets repositioned, but yo, mate, where's the other one? You know, both spines here could definitely make a difference, but now already one of the spines does fall. Not enough energy for transfuse. Only 1 queen left.
Not enough energy for transfuse, but plenty of energy for this medevac to heal. And these Hellbats, like, they just ain't dying.
Exactly, and even if they do die, the damage was done. Like, KeeN killing the third base, like, he's fine with that. You know, let's just walk away happy. Meanwhile, he does get into the mineral line. A couple of drones go down. He does get forced to pick up.
Yeah, we're saying just welcome a little bit too long in that natural base, but it's all fine. He can bounce back and forth between natural and the main. B does not have any defenses up.
Oh god, exactly. And mate, the follow-up is deadly. The follow-up is going to be Cloak Banshees. Cloak is done. Mate, we don't have a Spore in the natural. Lair is only just now starting.
This is gonna be being in a lot of trouble. He's trying to get some counter damage done across the map with whatever he has, but he needs everything to defend. And the Hellions aren't even in play yet, like, These roaches are dying to banshees.
They are. Thankfully, there are spores in the mineral lines, but I can't say the same about the third base, or I guess, or the fourth, or any kind of base. Like I don't see B taking a third at all.
Nor can I. Best case scenario, KeeN just doesn't realize where that third base is at.
It's true.
Yeah, and I do agree. Thankfully, Bean has a couple of spores here for detection, but apart from the spore crawlers, what is this anti-air situation looking like?
It's exactly one queen. There's a second queen. There are 2 more queens on the way, but that spore is going to go down here. And again, like this hatchery, how do you defend against these banshees?
You pray, I guess. Hope that KeeN, hope that KeeN's mouse malfunctions or something.
KeeN's also, mate, he's having fun. As he's rallying more Hellions across the map, he's getting Hyperflight Rotors, he's committing to Mass Banshee because why the hell not? Again, there's no anti-air here, the queens were just taken out.
Jeez, the absolute disrespect from KeeN. It's like, whoa, this is one hell of a match to play in now that I'm out of military. That's what make it memorable.
Mate, it's one of those things, mate. There's a reason why KeeN did qualify for at least a GSL Code A for Season 2, mate. He's such a good player. Sure, he hasn't been back for long, but we can see, like, it didn't take too long for him to, you know, get his skill back, or at least some of it.
Just like riding a bike.
Yeah, boy.
And this is very much the KeeN that we've come to expect as well.
At least that's what I'm hoping for, right? Again, as a reminder to everyone, there are a lot of players returning from military. KeeN is back, Leenock is back, CJ Hero is right around the corner as well. He's already laddering, he's already practicing. It's great to see all these returning players. More importantly, it's great to see them do well. Don't wanna pull a Tasia.
Yeah. Whoa, hold up.
Oh god, I'm joking.
Yeah, I mean, it would be sad if they do retire after just a couple of months or a couple of years back out of the military, but yeah, so far for KeeN anyway, it is looking fan-frickin-tastic.
That it is, mate. Again, like, at this point, he's kind of playing with his food. Here comes the main army. The Ferrari mech is here. What is there to defend? A couple of roaches. Roach speed is about to finish up. We have a Hydra Den. But I don't know, mate. I don't know if B can really stop this onslaught.
Well, theoretically, no. But in actuality, also no.
As the roaches are going down, mate, the tanks are here as well. All the queens fall once again. GG is called, and KeeN takes the series 2-0.
We are getting that rematch, Light.
That we are. Oh my god. I'm so excited. Again, for those wondering, or for people who are just tuning in now, KeeN and Zest is what we are going to be getting into, and they just played like an hour ago, less than an hour ago in the GSL qualifiers.
Yeah, I think Zest just qualified like maybe 40 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Something like that. It was insane.
Again, so when it comes to that series, KeeN 2-1 Zest to qualify for Code A. Zest was knocked down to the losers bracket, but he did qualify in the end over Cham. Shout out to Cham, by the way. He's in Korea at the moment. So in the end, they both did qualify, but you know, one of our players has a little bit of a better seeding, and yeah, I'm sure the other is a little bit upset.
I think I missed that. Wait, Cham qualified?
Oh no, Zest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you meant KeeN. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's what I meant by both players.
That would be crazy if Zest didn't qualify for GSL. That'd be insane.
Yeah. But thankfully, I feel like it feels like that loss to KeeN reinvigorated Zest a little bit. You know, he 2-0'd Cham to qualify for GSL Code A. I don't believe he's in Code S just yet. And now he's had a lot of time to reflect. He didn't have to play out a first round best of 3. He was able to maybe look at the replays a little bit, or even just reflect on what went on in his match against KeeN. If there's one thing you can say about Zest, is that he's somebody who takes planning and series preparation very seriously, even with only a couple of hours to prepare or something like that, or even with just a couple of minutes.
I think what I would also add on to that is Zest is also one of the most consistent and hardworking players. We kind of joke about it a lot. Every single ESL Open Cup Asia and ESL Open Cup Americas as well with me and Milk, where Zest, he's there every single week. Same can be said here for OlimoLeague. Like, he's always showing up in everything that he can. He always wants to do well. He always wants to excel. And sure, this may not be, you know, a GSL qualifier, but again, I'm sure he's saying this very seriously, and I'm sure he wants revenge, right? Like, it's gonna feel a little bit bad, right, to lose or to lose to a player who has been playing for less than 2 months. Like, that's crazy when you think about it. Like, oh my god.